Oftentimes, the inspiration for our songs can come from outside sources. They can come from places that you weren't intending because you heard a tune or something and then you sort of internalized it and thought of a riff yourself. And or it could be something not even in your genre. A lot of people have had this. Richie Blackmore admits sometimes in getting inspiration from classical pieces.
I listened to Ludwig van Beethoven. Bum, 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 bum. And I thought, play that backwards. Put something to it, and you've got bum, 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 bum. That's how I came up with it. It's an interpretation of inversion. If you turn it back and play it back and forth, it's actually Beethoven's Fifth. So I owe him a lot of money.
Or from pieces of other bands.
When we saw It's a Beautiful Day in London, we said, I hope you don't mind, but we stole your idea. They said, yes, we know. But they'd stolen one of our ideas.
As did Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page, and often other bands that are inspired by those that came previously before them. Well, it's not necessarily that you may even prefer that sound or that song or whatever, but sometimes it inspires you, it sparks something in you. And I have a song that was inspired by a couple different riffs. I'm going to play the tune first, and then I'll explain.
I'm here and I'm waiting while the world passes by. It seems like time has stopped for the moment. Time goes by so quickly. The days they blow on by like a passing vapor, like a passing vapor in the wind. Some fear the end is coming, and many are running. Regardless, I know what is here.
Now, mind you, this song was the first one I attempted for vocals. Believe it or not, I'm not a singer. I don't claim to be a singer, and it's something that was just came to me because I wanted to put vocals in something, and then ever since I kind of favored singing a little bit in my music. I started out doing instrumentals, went to this kind of style. This is more folkish than some of my other ones, my newer ones, more electronic or more synth alternative based. This one was one that I took as an experiment. It was the events that were going on at the time. It was during the lockdowns, and I was inspired by a couple bands. I don't know if you could guess, because it doesn't typically sound like the bands that I got the style or instrument from started out as such. And believe it or not, one of those bands, I was listening to an acoustic type of style. I was listening to Black Sabbath, Planet Caravan. And the song, it has that Tony Iommi arpeggios. And I thought, what if I did something like that? And it started out as that. And of course, at first, you hear it as that, and you say, well, it's too close, or it sounds like it. So I wanted to alter it a little bit. And in that song with Black Sabbath, you can hear the congos, in which I incorporated that myself in my song. I use bongos, not congos, but incidentally, that's where I got the idea from. The next song I listened to was Doobie Brothers, Black Water.
Raft and she's ready for flow. Oh, Mississippi,
Oh, black water, keep on rolling.
Mississippi moon, won't you keep on shining on me?
Oh, black water,
Mississippi moon, won't you keep on shining on me? Yeah, keep on shining your.
Again, not claiming to sound like them. I have no ability that they do. I'm not even a guitar player. I'm typically a bass player. But that was one I took guitar out, the acoustic guitar. And I'm no Patrick Simmons. There's no way I could sing like him. But his singing kind of inspired me, gave me a rough draft of what to use. And sometimes bands that you listen to you don't have to learn from music teachers or theory if you already have an aptitude. You can listen to songs and use their techniques and kind of incorporate your own. Then I needed a lead, and the first thing I thought of, believe it or not, I wanted to do an acoustic lead on this one. And something sprung in me. It reminded me of Madonna, La Isla Bonita. So I sort of took inspiration from that. And that's how I incorporated the elements of this song. And then, sometimes you hear a song and you like it, but it's not something you would do, and you take the riff and you move it around a little bit, change directions, change phrasing, and you make it your own, and you use different instruments, and sometimes it sounds like your own. Can't make it close to someone else's, or you can have legal copyright infringements, but you can use it for inspiration. And there's not a lot of models that sometimes we use if we're in a certain ideology, and we want to be careful not to use, something outside, like, you don't want to use thrashing heavy metal if you're doing folk music, but sometimes you can take elements of folk music or thrashing music, and you can take elements of jazz and incorporate them in your songs. Jazz uses a lot of phrasings, a lot of technical intervals and things like that, and there's ways to use those intervals in your instruments to get a little bit more different dynamics, and that's also what I'll do in my music. I just wanted to give you a taste of that. If you like this type of video, and I'm probably going to do some reaction videos and instructional videos or whatever, I tend to favor the indie community, because indie bands I'm an indie artist, and indie bands are struggling, and sometimes they struggle over just simple things like what equipment do I need, and my channel hopefully will answer some of those. How do I edit? How do I mix? How do I, whatever. Tell me what you'd like to see. Subscribe to this channel and give it a thumbs up if you like it, and I'll produce more.